What's up YouTube, Mr. Llama here, and today we're going to be talking through the physical Zealot build. This is for a Paladin using Zeal and Fanaticism. There are a few different kinds of Zeal builds, so this is the one we will be talking about today. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of skills, stats, gear, Mercenary, all the things that you need to make this character run and have some fun. So first off, let's go ahead and start right here with the Paladin stats himself. You can see good starting stats, decent life and mana per vitality and energy or character level. Makes him a very tanky boy, right? Very strong. Additionally, in the bottom right, you can see all of his frames, FHR, FCR, FBR. All of these are very useful to know, and especially with Holy Shield, that he gets better blocking. If you want to learn more about breakpoints and frames, I'll have a video linked down below for you. Now, starting out, let's go ahead and jump into the final skill build for this character. So here you can see I've put the points in Sacrifice, in Zeal, and in Fanaticism. That is going to be my main three that I've maxed out that are important here. I've also put some points into Holy Shield. The number that you put in is kind of up to you. You don't need to fully max it, but it can be nice just to get some more points in it for better block percentage there. And then I've also got some random points in like Vigor, Redemption, Salvation, just like nice 1-point wonders. Meditation is as well. And then with the remaining points, I've jammed them all into Resist Lightning and Resist Fire. Biggest reason is with these points in these skills, you're going to get, for every 2 points you spend in any of these three, you'll get +1 to the maximum resistance of the character. So this is 10 more max light res and 3 more max fire res passively. I don't even have to use those auras for this character. So a great way to dump any remaining points that you don't need. But how do we get to there? That is the great question that you might be asking. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Initially, I love to start out with just Holy Fire with it. So I go level 2, I get Might. Level 3, or the Den of Evil point, let's say, I get Sacrifice. Then level 3, 4, 5. Sorry, that's wrong. Level 2, Den of Evil. And then level 3, 4, 5, go and Resist Fire because you can't get Holy Fire till level 6. Then from there you go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. At level 12, you put a single point into Zeal because it's actually super early. You don't want to keep putting points and hitting as many times. You just want 2 quick hits. And then I just go 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, right? I just keep spamming points into Holy Fire. Your character is going to be a very strong Zealot through the early portion of the game, and you can just do it that way. You could technically also use Might if you wanted, but Holy Fire is so good early on. You're going to really want that for your Zealot. Now, once you get to level 30, you can go ahead and respec. And there you can respec into getting Fanaticism. So now you can move into this. And here you can also start respecing like this. If you would like, you can also go for Holy Shield at this point. I generally usually get Holy Shield a little bit later in Nightmare, but it's not a terrible idea to get one, and putting a couple points in it early on is actually not a horrible thing. Then you can run max block through the rest of the game. It's pretty cheap in dexterity early on to get that. And like I say, putting a few points there will be very helpful. Then from there, you can spend your remaining points on Zeal, so you will hit more. You can spend them on Sacrifice for adding damage to the Zeal. And I'd kind of go between all of that stuff. And then every time that you level up, you just put a point into Fanaticism. And I'm just going to go maxing out my Fanaticism and just continuing to go from there going forward. So keeping it pretty easy. Shouldn't have too many issues, whatnot, once you just kind of get this going and getting your Fanaticism up. Once that's done, you can finish maxing out Zeal. You can finish maxing out Sacrifice. And then your character's pretty much built from that point. Like I say, whenever you want, you can add Salvation. That's a nice little 1-point wonder skill just for a big resist all for running around. If you really feel the need to get into Vigor or Meditation or Redemption early on, you can kind of do that, maybe in the 40s or something if you want. But really, I would just focus on those 3 skills and just kind of maxing that stuff out right there. Stats wise, you're going to want enough strength for your gear, enough dexterity for max block, and everything else into vitality. And like I said, when you're leveling up, you'll probably want to do, let me get just a few points, 3 points in vitality and 2 points into dexterity every single level. This will keep you at max block roughly, and you can always just check right there when you have a shield on, and it'll say what your max block is. But remember that you have your holy shield. Remember that you have your holy shield right there on before you look at your max block. That'll be really important for your character overall. So that's going to be how you're going to stat everything going forward there. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and look at some gear for this character, because there's going to be a few different styles of gear and how you want to build it all out and yada, yada, yada. So let's go ahead and grab some basics there. You want to get a Paladin Torch, you want to get an Annihilus, and then for charms, it's actually usually preferred on this character to get max damage charms. So let me see, I think I have some over here. Just some like random like 220, you know, whatever. Getting some like big life charms can be nice. But getting like max damage and AR charms is really helpful. And you're not really going to run, I don't know why that's there. You're not really going to run like combat skillers and stuff near as much. It's just not as helpful for this character. 3 20/20s would be like the ideal. That's 3 max, 20 attack rating, 20 to life. That'd be kind of your like ideal charms to stack with, but that can be very difficult to get all of those. So, you know, fill with whatever you can get and just try and fill up as much of that stuff. You can also put res on that, life, mana, whatever you need. Resistances, all those things on these charms right here. In terms of actual gear, let me just put some things on really quickly. That'll just be some nice items to be used for this character. Where's my fortitude at? Should be over there. Let's get... Laying of Hands wouldn't actually be a terrible glove. Go ahead and put that on. You could also do like steel rends there. But we'll just do this for now. Gore Riders. Verdungos we can put on. Get a Ravenfrost. Get a High Lords. Get maybe... Do I have a dual Leech Ring over here? Let me see if I can just find a random one. Sure, that'll work. Doesn't really have anything else, but that's okay. And then get Guillaume's face. So this right here is a very standard top tier Paladin Zealot build, right? This is just going to be your grief. This is just the best weapon in the game. It just... The amount of damage is crazy. Laying of Hands, I love. You get big fire res, you get the damage versus demons, and you get the IAS, which is super, super good. So that's kind of up to you right there. If you want that, or if you want steel rends for a little bit more damage, you can totally do that, but you do need a little more strength. Ravenfrost is the best in slot, cannot be frozen. You get dexterity as well. You get the cold absorb, and you get attack rating, which is helpful. Verdungos is nice. Hit recovery, vitality, damage reduce. A dual leech ring I really like on this character because you're going to have a lot of physical damage. So getting some of that leech can be super good. Gore Riders, Crushing Blow, Open Wounds, Deadly Strike. These boots are just do it all. They're so good. Shield wise, Exile is really nice. You get the life tap. You get the freezes target, the plus max. It's very, very good there. But some people will want to run Haas here. That also works, right? You can kind of run either one. This is nice resistances, strength, vitality. You can socket it, put another P diamond or something in it, whatever you want to really just do even more. Fortitude is going to be your best in slot here. The massive enhanced damage from Fortitude, 300%, just kind of puts it above everything else for this character. Like I say, there's that grief with the damage IS. Guillaume's face, you get big crushing blow, deadly strike, strength, hit recovery, and then High Lords, IAS, deadly strike, and plus skills and some light res. So this right here is going to be pretty much your standard best in slot stuff. Now, if you want to be a little bit safer with things, right? Have even more safety. You could switch out, you know, these for some Drax, get even more chance for that life tap, right? That's kind of like, this is like super safety right here. You could use a last wish. Now you've got so much life tap, you're going to proc every single hit pretty much. I mean, you don't need all 3 of these pieces, but that's just kind of like ones you could use. You could use a Phoenix for a shield as well. I mean, put this into a Paladin shield, but you could have a Phoenix shield to get that redemption aura. Great for a little bit more survivability. You could change this out for a Kira's if you want. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of some stuff that I would change out to be a little safer. But what about if I'm not quite rich enough to get to that point, right? I'm starting this game out, I'm playing through. What are some good options, Mr. Llama, that my character can play with through the game? Well, starting out, you can use some basic random stuff like this. Tal, and a flail. That totally works. Malice. That totally works. You can also use a strength. You can use a steel and a scimitar. Both of those are decent, and they're just like easy crushing blow, easy quick attack speed, whatever stuff it is. Honor is one of my favorite weapons to make kind of like in that mid tier, right? I get to Nightmare Act 1, throw on an Honor, big ED, get the min and max damage, attack rating, deadly strike. Really a solid item. That you can easily pop on there for some stuff. Additionally, some things like a Flesh Render. That's got good damage on it. Got Crushing Blow and Deadly Strike. I love that. Nord's Tenderizer. That's got some great damage as well. Sure Shill Frost. Zakram's Hand. Heck, even something like Alder's Rhythm. Look at that. Right? You can just grab this bad boy. Level 42, it's got decent damage on it. You can add some more. I mean, it's not bad at all and a pretty easy find. So a lot of things like that are going to be very good for this character. Nice and easy to throw on. You just want something that has some decent damage on it and can attack pretty quickly. In terms of armors, Stealth is an amazing starting armor right there. Twitch Throw would be great if you could get that super early. Obviously, if you can get an Rune, getting into a Duress is really good. If you can get a Rune, getting into a Treachery is really good. And that's going to be right over here. This is Ethereal for Mercenary, but regardless, really solid. You get the Fade, the Venom, and the IIS. That's going to be super big for your character to get through the game. I also like getting Cannot Be Frozen from Spirit Shroud. Duriel Shell isn't too shabby. I mean, heck, even a Scan the Viper Magi, it's not like super useful for this character, but 34 all res is pretty nice with the +1 skills. So not terrible at all. In terms of ammies and stuff, just finding like life and res is going to be pretty important kind of early on. Even something like this doesn't have any skills you need, but strength, life, resistance, I like it. And then, of course, you can get stuff like Mahim Oak, attributes, resistance, bonus attack rating. That's really nice. You could use like Sarakin's Chance on this character, attributes and res, just kind of help buff your character up some. Dwarf Rings are great, 40 to life. And something really good for this character as well, just the Angelic set, right? Literally just using this, you get massive attack rating from the rings, you get plus dexterity, and you get plus to life right there. That's super budget, super easy on any character that needs attack rating. That is like your go-to combination right there. Once again, if you can't be frozen somewhere else, Death's Guard, super cheap and easy. String of Ears is great. Gold Wrap, get a little IIS, Nosferatu's Coil, even just a big life belt. All of this is going to be really solid for the character. Shield-wise, Ancient's Pledge and Rhyme Maiden Paladin shields are going to be super solid. Here's an example of a Sanctuary Maiden Paladin shield. 115 all resistances because it's just so many resistances. You stack it on top of the Paladin shield and it just ends up being absolutely amazing. So that's something that can be really nice right there. And you can put these, like I said, in Paladin shields for Cannot Be Frozen. This is a very solid item. You can farm this from Nightmare Countess. Highly recommend. Get Shale and Eth. Get a 2-open target Paladin shield with 10 all res, 15 all res, whatever it is. Pop it in, and you've got yourself an amazing shield to carry yourself through the rest of the game. Helmet-wise, This is pretty solid. Ralort Thol is really nice, right? Iratha's, same sort of thing, just kind of pumping resistances. Rock Stopper, great item right there. Tau Rasha's Haragic Crest wouldn't be a terrible option for your character either, right? Crown of Thieves wouldn't be a terrible option. Just get some nice lifesteal, some life, some fire res, some dexterity from it, right? These are all like nice options for this character here. In terms of gloves, looking for some IAS and life. Really nice. Bloodfist, Sanders, 20 IAS, Cold Reds gloves that you can literally just shop. All of that's great. From the boots, Alders are fantastic. Nats are great. Just some random resistance and faster run walk and life is all good. All of these boots right here, Infernos, Waterwalks, Cesaris, all fantastic. But you can also get Gore Riders. You can get Goblin Toes. Those can be good to add that crushing blow, add that deadly strike, add that open wounds to the character and to your physical stuff. So it just kind of depends a little bit on what you need right there to really be solid overall. In terms of a Mercenary, I'm going to be going for an Act 2 Mercenary. I'll probably go for a Holy Freeze or Might Aura Mercenary right there. And I'll put Fortitude on him. For this character, I'd probably put something like Breath of the Dying. Reaper's Toll wouldn't be terrible at all. Andes, you could also put like a Pride on him. Really, you get a few different options to really just kind of stack him out. But you just want him to be a big old tanky damage machine. So you can, both run Fortitudes and be fantastic. Can't afford that? What are some cheaper options? Insight. Nice, cheap, easy. You get meditation, not super needed for this character, but doesn't really matter. It's still a big old damage weapon anyways. Obedience, giant damage weapon, totally fine. Gets the enchant for him as well. Love to see that. You could also maybe like pop it on yourself eventually if you want to get the enchant and just hit a couple things, grab the enchant and then give it back, because you get a nice attack rating boost with enchant, which is really helpful. You could make an honor. You could get a Bone Hew. You could get a Tomb Reaver. Any of those things I'd really put on this character. In terms of other armors, Treachery, fantastic. Like I said, for yourself and your Mercenary, you're both going to love this. Even something like a Shaft Stop, something like a Smoke Runeward, something, with survivability is going to be helpful for him right there. Crown of Thieves, Taurashas, Vamp Gaze, all of these items that are good for you are also going to be great for your Mercenary, so you can kind of interchange with that stuff. And that's the one thing you might fight over gear with him a little bit, but it is going to be pretty solid. And overall, between what kind of Mercenary, Holy Freeze or Might, I prefer getting a Might Mercenary because it's really going to help add to my damage. Holy Freeze does have a little bit of help, though, to just slow everything around you. So I prefer the Might, but both of them are really going to be solid overall. Yeah, and so all in all, that kind of plays out and shows you the whole character. You can see that like this hurts the max block if I'm going with this. If I have something like a Haas, I can actually run way less and get to my max block. Right there, and that's with only that 1 point in Holy Shield. I haven't even like pumped a bunch of points into it, and I have a bunch of points left over, right? But this really is a fun character to run around and play with. He kills pretty well, and honestly is one of the best melee builds in the game, I would say. So definitely like have fun with him, and you're gonna get some nice procs. You're gonna get a lot of fun. You're gonna be able to kill a lot of monsters. And, I mean, I really think he's a great character just for solo play overall. Not the best character for a team, but for solo, I think he's pretty fun. And you can see right there the leech and everything. I don't even have to worry too much. I'm able to leech back all my life and all my mana and everything pretty easily with him. So, pretty survivable, pretty safe overall. And, hey, we got our Fade proc as well, so our resistances are even, like, more crazy stacked. So that right there is my Zealot guide. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please leave some comments below. If there's other things that you'd like to do, I'd love to hear about it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you feel more comfortable making a Zealot Paladin. Definitely like a B tier playthrough character, I would say. Low A tier, high B tier, something like that. Anyways, mwah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace, YouTube.